Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when I feel like a clock, and this is my second time in the Red Room. The Red Room is where I do my deep massage, get some tanning, get some meditation in. Had to go because I went to Pilates today at Chinky's House of Yoga and Pilates. If you do go there, ask for Poon and say that Perlo sent you. I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and you're listening to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom. Now, I have something that's going to shock you a little bit. It shocked me when I finally came to the conclusion. It was a conclusion I came to with the Oilers a while back that they didn't listen to me with. You know how I always talk to all of the brass in Edmonton and everywhere else for that matter, of course, because when you live in a basement, you have a lot of ins, I'll tell you. Anyways, the Toronto Maple Leafs have been in the rumor mill in news for Marleau trades and Kadri trades and signing Gardner, not signing Gardner. Looks like they're looking at Trouba, all kinds of stuff. It is a lot of hubbub over there, my friends. It is, and I've been struggling with this for quite some time, but I finally came to the conclusion that with Tavares making 10 or 11 million, Matthews making pretty much the same. I just can't see in the cap world where you can have three players making 10 million or plus a year, especially when you also have Nylander. I was thinking about trading Nylander. I was thinking about trading all kinds of like different options or ways to get around this, but I can't. And honestly, I have to really just admit, I think they have to trade Marner. And that is a terrible thing because I love Marner, and I know I'm going to get spanked all over the place. I take enough spankings in a day without having to get spanked by all my friends. My fans, I should say. And friends. You're my friend, right? Of course. Anyways, but I come to that conclusion. You could go all through the league, but the one team that they've been talking to a lot about maybe trading Kapanen or Nylander is Carolina. I went through all the teams, and there's some really good deals that could be had, including getting first-round picks and all kinds of stuff. But I came up with the deal that I would do, and I know I'm probably going to be hated for it. But this is a deal I would do in the cap world. This is the way I think we have to start looking at trades and how to build a roster. You got Teravainen, who is also a right winger. He is on a sweet deal of like just over $2 million to 23-24, if you can believe that. You have Pesci, who is also on a sweet deal. I think is a sweet deal. I think he could play on your 1-2. He's that good. He's such a good defenseman. $4.5 million till 23-24. You also could throw in a Fleury and 2 first-round draft picks. Fleury is a defenseman that has not been able to make their roster because they're so deep. You could get 2 defensemen in this deal, and get some grit, which both of those provide. Doing this, you're going to save it. Like, say you don't sign Marner, you're going to save a good $4 million to get another player, and hopefully a player with size up front. You could sign one of Kapanen or Johansson, trade the other one for some forward size again, and I didn't think far enough as to who you might get in that trade, but I'm sure there are several options there, and it's something that they really need. In fact, Babcock has said as much. Not to mention, if they do happen to find a place for Marleau without having to take anything back, you then again are able to add to the depth on the wings, bring in some size in those forwards. You fill in your defensive problems that you have. In fact, you still might need another defenseman, assuming they don't sign Gardner. Haynes, he's 38 years old. You're already going to lose. Why do I always forget his name? The defenseman that's asked to go out of there. I forget it every time I do a video. Anyways, you're going to lose a lot of your defense already, and you're going to need to add to it. The other thing that they were thinking about doing was acquiring Trouba for Kadri. I think that's a great deal, and you could get a cheaper center there and bring in Trouba, and you've got a fantastic defense. I think now this is the way you got to look at it in the NHL. If the Edmonton Oilers would have listened to me before they signed Dre, and again, you get caught up in the fact that these guys are fantastic players. Of course, I love Dre. I'm an Oilers fan. I don't want to see Draisaitl go. But with the Lucic contract and the way they had everything set up there, by the way, I wouldn't have signed Tavares, and I would have kept Marner to begin with. But that's for another story altogether. I didn't like it. I didn't like bringing in somebody else as a free agent onto that roster when they were building they had plenty of talent the way it is. It just didn't sit right with me. I never liked it right from the beginning. I could prove to be wrong on that. But one of the reasons why I didn't like it is I just couldn't see how Marner was going to fit if they did that, especially if they signed Nylander. So anyways, now they're in the situation they're in. Maybe Dubas is going to just show off to be the young genius that he is. Somehow he fits it all in there and it all works out. But if Edmonton would have listened to me, I'll get back to that. They could have traded Draisaitl for a lot of wingers and a centerman. They could have traded Draisaitl for probably 2 wingers and a defenseman. They would have depth in their lineup. They could have cut Hopkins up the middle, and they probably would have been in a lot better position than they are right now. Unfortunately, in the cap world, acquiring lots of superstars just isn't going to make it. Look what's happening in Pittsburgh now. They're aging superstars with Crosby and Malkin, but it's gotten to the point, and it has for a while, that especially after they lost Fleury, that they just can't keep up with the depth that you need to win. Boston, you've got basically, you got Pastrnak, Bergeron, and Marchand on fantastic deals. That's the only way you could possibly do it, is you got to set it up so you have a long-term fantastic deals, and you can have these superstar type players and add depth through it. Plus you got to draft so well. Anyways, boys and girls, I hate to say it, and that's another reason why I think Toronto has to do this, is I don't think their drafting was as good as it needed to be. They have too many draft picks that just don't look like they're going to completely pan out. They weren't in a position of depth to bring in Tavares. They just weren't. That's my full 42. Why don't you hit the subscribe button, also the dinger thingamajigger, the bell, and I'll send you a My NHL Pearls of Wisdom necklace signed by me, helicopter to your door. Have a great day, and lots of love to you.